Alright, y'all. Welcome back to Bro Sports Talk. If you're new to the show, consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell to keep up with everything we upload. It will give us a big boost and it'll help us a lot. And if you're part of that lovely Spotify audience and you like what we put on there, then go ahead and give us that 5-star review. Not 4, not 3, not anything lower. Hit that 5th star. Let us know you love us. And lastly, follow us on Instagram to keep up with the pod. Alright, we'll be posting reels, all types of little shorts on there. And other than that, make sure you enjoy the episode. Much love. Right, I think we're live. Yeah, I think so. T minus 3, 2. And here are your boys from Bro Sports Talk, man. We got myself, George, Impossible, the Hefty Hooper, whatever you may refer to me as. And then you got the Bad Bitty Bandit himself, Mr. Ethan over there on the other side. We're out here, we're hosting for you. We're back. And we have a guest with us today. If you're wondering why your phone's a little bit heavier, it's the weight of the lip of our guest, Nomad Sportz,
Nomad.
Mr. Isaiah Morris. How are you today, Isaiah?
I'm doing all right. Just chilling in Texas.
For those of you who
And
don't know, Isaiah drives trucks, and we've caught him at a rare moment where we don't hear his turn signal or the road behind him. And we appreciate his presence today. Ethan, how's things been going with you, man?
Got my little shower in. I'm playing the Skywalker Saga, Lego Star Wars. A little late to the party, but that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah. Bro, speaking of showers, like, for those of you who don't know, I'm currently in a workout journey right now. I've been doing 2-a-days, and 2 is an ironic number because that's the amount of showers at the gym I go to. And I I hopped in one after my pressing shoulder chest and core today. I do core at the end of all of them since that's where I'm focused right now. And in the middle of my shower, they just ran out of hot water and about turned me into Captain America. About got froze over, and brother, my back's still kind of itchy from that. But uh, man, what's some media things we got going on, Isaiah? I know we were talking about it just a second ago with the whole call to cancellation on Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy. Uh, so my question to you is you still getting the game?
Oh, definitely. I'm not gonna let anybody tell me what I can or can't buy, what I can and can't be, what I can and can't do. Like what what's the ironic thing is what they're doing. Like the people who were bullied are becoming the people who are bullied or bullying, and it's like the roles are being reversed because their whole deal is we can't tell people can't tell them who they can or can't be, what they can or can't dress up as, what they can or can't do. And now they're going back on telling other people, like everybody else, trying to say what we can or can't do, what we can or can't like, what we can or can't play. And I just think that's like ridiculous in my opinion. We should
I
all
feel
be
you.
able to.
I would say that would they. I hope you refer to specifically just cancel culture.
Yeah. No, I mean the people
Yeah.
who
I
cancel
don't
culture.
want
Yeah.
I don't want
And
anyone to like misinterpret your words and say you're specifically targeting a specific community. The only
it's
community
I'm
that's the problem is the
target.
cancel culture because I've seen people from both sides of the argument affiliate in different ways. I've seen, people from the LGBTQ community state that they're still going to play the game, that they have no issue with the game. And then because a lot of the people that I've seen standing up like on TikTok are people who don't are like straight white people who are like just like I don't mean to call anybody out, but they're just wanting to be outraged about something.
Yeah.
And it's like almost a hipster ideal where it's like, is this popular? All right, I'm going to attack it and tell everybody that they shouldn't be a part of it. And then like you mentioned like them going at specific streamers and calling for cancellation of those streamers just for streaming that game. That's what they do, man. When something's popular, they go on there, they get on there, they make their money off it.
Yeah.
Like ruining people's livelihood for a stance that you may or may not stand for. When people who do stand for it are still going to play that game is it's kind of wild, man. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. At the end of the day, J.K. Rowling is still sitting in her bathtub full of $100 bills. Like, I don't like her neither. She pissed me off. I'm a Harry Potter fan, but she as a person pissed me off. And but I know that nothing I do to boycott Harry Potter is gonna stop her from getting her bread. She she still got more money than I do, and more money than 98% of the people calling to cancel her. And nothing that we do, no boycotting the game, movies. I mean, what the hell you gonna do? To get rid of all of Harry Potter, you got to get rid of the books, the movies, the game, the toys that are produced. The theme song is a ringtone in Zedge app or whatever.
The damn theme park in
I'm
Orlando.
saying the theme park itself. Like, you're not moving no mountains. So
yeah,
if you don't want to play the game, don't play the game. But the people who are going
if I may,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, so my bad. If I may, honestly, and the craziest thing about it, the same people are complaining are usually, from what I see, the more privileged side, and they just want to try to be in the mainstream culture because how they grew up, not on their part, but they are so out of the loop. And it's mainly, like you said, these privileged white people. I'm not saying all white people are privileged or anything like that, but these privileged people. But these privileged people who just want to be on a wave and to try to make themselves known and liked. And really, they're tweeting, but they're tweeting from a phone that they bought from a mainstream company who outsources their products to practically slave laborers in other countries. They're working for pennies, and you're sitting in your freaking Range Rover, Tesla, whatever you're wanting to call it, whatever car you drive, on a freaking iPhone 14, and you're typing about something that doesn't most likely concern you. And you're trying to cancel people for what they may not done 8-9 years ago. Realistically, we've all made mistakes, and most people probably done something in life that needs to be quote unquote canceled. And I just think it's a ridiculous claim to try to go on witch hunts. Like, it's the same thing the Catholic Church did to trans and gays, LGBT. It's not the same. Not saying they're burning people at the stake, but
okay.
I'm saying
reel that in real quick.
It is that same thought process is what leads to that. Since you're calling witch hunts out on people, you're killing their livelihood for what?
I think like the main point I'm like just contended. I'm battling with is like, do they not understand, like, the people who are doing this? Because like I said, there are people in like the LGBT community that are like not caring and are playing the game. I think those are the ones that realize that. I mean, one, like you said, it was a mistake made years ago. Probably she probably JK probably still believes all that stuff, and whatever she believes. I mean, my opinion, she can have it. I don't care. I still don't care for her as a person. Thank you for Harry Potter. But you ain't do nothing else. So I mean, go ahead and keep doing nothing else over there. Enjoy your money. Woohoo! But when you like take the turn to like cancel something, like, shouldn't it matter? Shouldn't you like you're these same people are supporting people who have done terrible things, like saying if you want the game pirated, these people pirating something or putting out a way to rob people of their livelihood. So why would you support those people before supporting the game developers who worked so hard to make this game for you. Regardless of what you think, like regardless if you think I should play the game or not, I'm gonna still be the most evil Ravenclaw that ever existed for a good cause. You're not stopping me from hitting the Nevada Kedavra on every evil person's child that I can find in that game. I'm eradicating the bloodline of evil, and you can see me do it. I don't know, maybe if I have Twitch up and running by then, maybe I'll switch around houses. But who knows? But speaking of switching around houses, we got people. Let's get to the main topic of the day. We are Bro Sports Talk, and you can follow us on Instagram, Spotify, and on YouTube. And we're going to get to our sports topic of the day. People switching around teams.
Also, don't forget to check out Nomad Sportz. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I got some sports stuff on there too, so you can be free to check that out.
Absolutely, that you can, and that I encourage. Well, we're gonna get to that. Switch it up teams talk real quick. Basically, February 9th, y'all know, was the NBA trade deadline, and today we're going to sit here and we're going to review these trades. Myself, Ethan, and Isaiah are going to give our personal grades, talk about what we thought was good, talk about what we thought was bad, who won, who lost, who was stupid to let who go, and why is Kevin Durant trying to get CP3 a ring, man? What's going to happen is our amazing producer, Ed, will just name the team in the trade, and we'll talk it. So, Ed, if you could take us away with the first trade.
Hey, how's it going? Yes, Nomad Sportz will be linked in the description of the episode, everything from his YouTube channel himself to his social media platform, so make sure to go check that out. So I'm not going to start with a weak team. I already know everybody wants to hear it. We're going to talk about the Lakers. They did a 3-team trade with the Jazz and the Timberwolves that sent Russell Westbrook and a protected 2027 first-round pick to the Jazz, who in turn sent Jarrett Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley to the Lakers. The Timberwolves got Mike Conley and a second-round pick from Utah, sending D'Angelo Russell to the Lakers as part of the deal. And we all know that Russell Westbrook is going to get bought out from Utah. So I'd like to start with the Lakers first, the Lakers component. George, what is your grade for that trade?
Because I don't think it moves the needle in any particular way. Not to say D'Angelo's better than Russell or worse than Russell, but it's more, I just don't think that trade does anything specifically for them other than get rid of Westbrook. And I mean, maybe, D'Angelo makes better plays, but Russell gets to the rim better. Like, who knows? But I give that like a C plus max as the Lakers component in that specific trade. I think one, they could have gotten more out of it. They did manage to secure Malik Beasley back, so I guess that'll bump it up to a C plus for me. Jared Vanderbilt does give him more size, but I mean, we saw with like Thomas Bryant with AD there, he wasn't getting much time. They did also they got Rui Hachimura a week or two ago, so I don't see where Jared Vanderbilt fits on that team. So I think I'm going to leave it at a C plus for me.
I think with Jared Vanderbilt's switchability on defense, they can do a lot of small ball lineups, especially when AD needs to be out or he's injured. Jared can easily slide to the 5. They have Rui coming in at the 4, and then they'll probably have Bron still at the 3. I think this is a good step for Bron as well. He doesn't have to do too much of the ball handling responsibility. And the difference, in my opinion, and I think we can all agree upon this, is D'Angelo Russell can shoot the 3 pretty consistently, and I think this is probably his best. This is probably his best season statistically from 3 that he's had in a while. And unfortunately, with the Timberwolves, they knew they couldn't pay him at the deadline. I mean, they knew they couldn't pay him at the end of the season what he deserved, as well as paying Rudy and eventually what Anthony Edwards would be getting once his contract is up. So, for me, Ethan, Isaiah, you guys can go right after. For me, I'm gonna have to give this a B, maybe a B plus, because who they got as far as depth, what switchable defenses can happen with this lineup, and bringing D'Angelo Russell back to LA was something that we were hoping that would happen. At least I was hoping that would happen for quite some time. So I give it a B plus. Actually, I think it was a pretty good trade.
B, the biggest Russell Westbrook supporter in the Southeast. I'm going to go a B as well, just because they sent my man out of there respectfully. I don't like D'Lo. He didn't fit with Rudy Gobert, and that was evident in the play. So I like the move there. And also pairing Rudy back up with Mike Conley was a good thing for me. And Timberwolves got some picks out of it. Jared Vanderbilt, defensive player, a good two-way that they can play. Russell Westbrook to the Jazz. It's the one good thing the Jazz have done in years. I mean, it's just get my man out of L.A. And,
I wanted to bring up, like, I talked about this earlier with Mike Conley going back to Rudy. They put a point guard that actually knows how to work with him. So as far as like the Timberwolves grade, I'll go ahead and give that. Timberwolves fleeced the hell out of both of these teams. They stocked up on some picks. They got a point guard that fits well with the rotation. So I'm giving the Timberwolves an A plus. Isaiah, you go ahead and go on your Lakers grade.
On my Lakers grade, I'm gonna give specifically on the Lakers side of things, I'm gonna give it a C, just because they kind of made a bridge that like loops around to the beginning, and I'm gonna make a Catan reference. I'm not sure if y'all played that before, but they traded wheat for wheat. Like they just got back, like what George said earlier. They got back what they put out. They literally got D'Angelo Russell right back to LA, which I think is just you should have kept him to begin with. I mean, I think it is beneficial that they got D'Angelo Russell because I think he's gonna. Not saying I agree with Ed. He's not saying he's better than Russell Westbrook, but I think he's better for the team than Russell Westbrook is. I think he's going to add more value. So on the Lakers end, I'm going to give him a C. Now Utah, I'm going to give it an F personally, just because I was in Utah, I was in Salt Lake about a month and a half ago, and I was wanting to catch a Jazz game, but I was like, who am I going to go see? And now I could have went, like, if they would have did this a month and a half ago, I could have got to see Russell Westbrook play, which I've always personally wanted to do. So just because the timing and it didn't, and it's not convenient for me, I'm going to give it an
F. I mean, there's no guarantee he plays there, though.
I would say he's definitely getting bought out.
Still,
the fact that I said that he would play given certain circumstances, but I mean, who knows?
I'm saying the fact that I could have sold Russell Westbrook for under $15 because Jazz didn't want to see Jazz. Like, you get what I mean? I'm feeling a bit salty.
He said, I could have seen Russell Westbrook for money you could find on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, you look, they have Lauri Markkanen, and that pair up with Russ could be something if he decides to play. But he has had his run-ins with Jazz fans. I don't think he likes the fan base, so who knows? I would personally like to see him with the Clippers. That's just me, though. That's just me.
See, I feel like the Clippers, if he's bought out, is where he'll land. But for me to like that, that's a lot of names, man. Like Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi, and we'll probably get back to this later, but the GOAT, Mason Plumlee, all on the same team, man. The goofy GOAT himself is over there. Man.
One more thing.
A lot of names.
One more thing about the Russell Westbrook part of that is it kind of gives PG another player that he can pair with that he's played with already. He's got that chemistry with him already. And when Kawhi is not on the court, I believe it would give PG an opposite, so he's not having to do it all.
See, what I'm really getting tired with is all these players, and they'll put the same players on a different team. Like, it's Zach Sauce and Kane Sauce. It's the same shit, but at a different team. It's like different place. It's like, I think it's stupid. It's like, why? Like, if you couldn't have played well together with the Suns, or I'm not saying they played on the Suns, but specifically on OKC. Like, you get what I mean?
I think that's why another we'll probably get to later. I think that's why the Nets didn't trade Kyrie to the Lakers.
I mean, you got to look at it from their perspective, though. They're all California guys in LA. I mean, Kawhi played at San Diego State. Paul George is from Southern California. Russ from Southern California. I mean, that's where they want to play, is under their hometown name. I mean, that's where they came from. That's what they're playing for. I mean, that's my thoughts on that. But I mean, yeah, it could have worked elsewhere, but that's where they want to be. So I mean, it worked out for all teams. I mean, how they got there respectively. I mean, the Thunder got a buttload of picks for both of them. I really think that it helped all teams out in every situation that led to this point.
To be a buck with you, I don't think it helped the Clippers out, and I won't say it helped the Clippers out until they get out the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, okay.
So, did they win?
Oh yeah, they won.
Mm-hmm.
They got a ball handling 5 that we'll get to later, but man's got some handles on him.
Okay, the goofy goat.
Like I said, they won in the sense of the people won, since regular niggas can go watch a NBA game for cheap instead of paying $15,000 and a left kidney to watch a Lakers game. So I guess the people won. Not so much the team, but you know what I mean.
I'm sorry, but the Lakers are not. They're not making any higher seed than they were before. I'm just going to put that out there already. That's just
bro. I think they go from 13 to 11.
They might go from 13 to 12. I ain't giving no 2 seed. That's crazy.
All right, Ed, if you're ready.
I will say this about the Clippers: if they don't get Russell Westbrook, they lost, because they gave up both of their point guards in anticipation to get Russ. So if it doesn't work out, that's on them. Okay, so the next trade we want to talk about is the Nets trading Kevin Durant to the Suns. The Nets shocked the NBA world by acquiring Kevin Durant from the Suns early Thursday morning at approximately 1:30. Most people were asleep. A lot of content creators had a little issue, so we got a lot of YouTube content. The Suns, who also traded for TJ Warren, are clearly loading up to win the Western Conference and potentially the NBA championship. What do we think about this transaction?
I think. Oh, go ahead, Ethan.
I'm gonna go ahead and just start this off. The Nets won this trade. No matter how you look at it, you might have given up a top 3 player in the league, but I mean, you got like 7 picks from what I see, and McCall Bridges and Cam Johnson, some shooters to go with Ben Simmons' terrible play. TJ Warren is a good 2-way player. He's not great, but he's good. And Kevin Durant. I mean, it's Kevin Durant. The only thing that I don't like about this is the fact that they could make a significant run of the West, and I can't see Devin Booker getting a title ring. I can't. I don't like him. I think overall the Suns, I give that a B.
All right. So, me personally, I'm in a position where I don't think, as much as I hate to say this, I don't think either team lost this trip. The Nets build for a future. The only thing I would give the Nets an F for is not getting rid of Ben Simmons and trading him to the damn Shanghai Sharks or something. And other than that, they managed to go into this trade deadline. Kyrie wanted to go, they got him out of there. Kevin Durant wanted to go, they got him out of there. And for some reason, they got TJ Warren out of there too, but oh well. But they kept Cam Thomas, which I like that. I think
ain't shit
Cam
funny.
Ain't shit funny, man. And I'm glad he got to stay there. I'm glad he got to keep not smiling. and carry that team. I like to see him at. I like to see him more. I like to see him get more time. I like to see him, come into his own and who sees what Cam Thomas could be. But then they also build for a future to build around him. And then the other piece they got to keep that I like them keeping is Nick Claxton because I felt like teams would come for him, but they kept him. Maybe no one asked for him. If they didn't, they're dumb. But the Nets still have him, and I think Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton are a great foundation. They kept some of the good pieces around him, and Seth Curry and Joe Harris, like people who will just go out there and just shoot the ball. Cam Johnson's a good piece. McCalla Bridges, or however you say his Listerine choke name. I mean, good two-way player who's gonna bring some energy out there. So I give both teams like a B plus in this.
Also, Jay Crowder, a big pickup for the Bucks.
Absolutely.
I don't know why he wasn't getting playing time.
I think he chose not to play in Phoenix. I think I might be wrong, but
I wouldn't want to play up the soft players either, man. Devin Booker soft, Chris Paul is just old. No hate on him. Everybody else in there, DeAndre Ayton, soft. He wants out. I don't know how he didn't get moved, but
and the Bucks managed to end up with Jay Crowder for 2 deep breaths. They fleeced. That's crazy. They traded that man for some slightly used chopsticks and a bowl of noodles. Isaiah, what do you have to say about this
one? I'm tired of just people getting traded around like Bitcoin, to be honest. Actually, that's just my opinion. Because
Jay Crowder did get passed around like a bag of weed.
That's all I'm saying. Kevin Durant should have stayed with the Warriors if he wanted a championship as bad as he claims. And another hot take, I'm not sure if they beat the Warriors. I think the Warriors have a better culture than the Suns. And I think Chris Paul has a curse. I think he's carrying on the Clipper curse. That's all I think. And I'm not sure. On paper it sounds good, but on paper the Nets last year also sounded really, really good with KD, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. But there's just a lot of drama that comes around KD. I'd like to see it happen, kinda, but I'm really not sure if the Suns going to get anywhere. I got to see it to believe it. Like I said, do what?
I'm glad KD left the Warriors, man. He's sticking up for himself. People want to say, if he didn't have Steph, if he didn't have Clay, if he didn't have that whole team, I'm tired of hearing this. He was wanting to prove something. No, but you can't just say that's what he should have stayed. I mean, he should have. He did what he had to do. He wanted to prove to everybody that he could go out. I mean, given things didn't work out because he brought 2 people who don't even. I mean, Kyrie doesn't even know what he wants to be, a basketball player, or
Nostradamus.
Yeah, and then James Harden, man, James Harden looks to get out of every situation he's in. If he don't want to play there, he's going to
if James Harden don't like the honey buns and titties, then he don't want in there.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is
they weren't going to give him the freeway that Houston was, where he could go be at the strip club, he could go be at any event for whatever.
It's because his husband, Lil Baby, wasn't allowed in the arena.
Honestly, KD should have realistically stayed at OKC. To be a buck with you, I think they would have probably won a chip there. But I'm just not sure if the culture is going to be there. You need not just talent, you need culture. That's what's carried the Lakers to so many finals and the Celtics to so many finals, and now the Warriors to as many finals as they won. It's the culture, and I don't think Kevin Durant he may be your best scorer, but he's not a leader of a team. And I really don't see a strong leader on that Suns team. And you can make it argue Devin Booker, but Devin Booker is going to get the ball less if KD's there. And unlike Devin Booker, he doesn't have Curry gravity that's gonna let Kevin Durant have as much free play as he did.
He's also got Chris Paul getting the ball, so I trust it.
Can I say something in regards to this trade here?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Speak your truth, King.
I would like to address something, especially something Isaiah talked about in that regards to like culture and like them not being able to beat the Warriors. I couldn't agree with you more, and here's why. If we look at the past couple playoff runs that the Suns have had, one thing about them is they're going to shoot the mid-range shot. In a situation of playing against teams, that's why they lost to Dallas. Dallas has a plethora of three-point shooting and gravity within Luka, and now the Kyrie trade that we're going to discuss right after this one. I'm going to bring that up right after. Even adding Kevin Durant, you lost 2 starters. Your bench isn't something to look at and be like, okay, this is a pretty good bench. Their bench is implorable. They want to shoot the mid-range. Even Kevin Durant, who is a great three-point shooter, goes to the mid-range specifically. And even if you have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and Chris Paul, who knows if they mesh immediately? And that type of stuff doesn't mesh well in the first season because there's gelling that needs to happen. There's a culture that needs to be like a foundation. Like, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, and if I am wrong, fine, but I don't think the teams that made these superstar trades at the deadline, the percentages of them winning a championship off that trade is very low. It's a very low percentage. Yes, exactly. So my grade for this trade is going to be different from how I think the rest of their season is going to go, especially because Kevin Durant is coming off another lower body injury. They can't beat the Warriors if the Warriors are healthy because the Warriors can outshoot them. You shoot a mid-range shot versus a three-point shot, who's really going to win? We're in a three-point era of basketball. And as much as Kevin Durant is extremely talented and a person that you know that you're going to make the playoffs with, he's becoming an injury-prone player. He's missed 3 All-Star games in the past 3 years because of his injuries. And even in the playoffs, he played well, but they need to be able to gel. He's never played with Chris Paul in this type of environment. He's never played with Devin Booker, 2 players that enjoy mid-range shots. So I'd give this trade a B because of also the Nets regaining their draft picks after they gave up all of them to Boston, that turned to Tatum, that turned to Brown. So them rebuilding their draft picks and keeping Cam Thomas, like George said, is a huge component. So I think both trades for me get an A, but I want to see what they look like. Now, let's get on to the trade that started it all, the Kyrie Irving. Nets trading Kyrie Irving to the Mavericks. The Mavericks got their man in Irving, someone who's been linked with them for a while, apparently. The pairing of Luka Doncic and Irving will be interesting because Irving leads the league in fourth quarter scoring and Luka leads the league in first quarter scoring. But Dallas got their young star running mate. If this experiment works out for the rest of the season, the Mavericks could sign Irving to an extension that he desires if he so chooses to be there. So what do we think about the Nets trade?
I'm going to cut in real fast. Is it all right if I go first?
Feel free.
I'm going to have to side. I'm not sure if y'all seen RDC World 1, and I'm going to shout out to their skit. And the key point, I know most of it's just jokes, but they made a really key point. Kyrie likes to be very ball dominant, and that's his biggest thing everywhere he went. He has to have the ball. I don't think that's going to happen with Luka. And if they can come to a point where they can build some chemistry and build some trust and be able to give up the ball a little more often, I think it could work really well. But if not, I think they're way too dominant of players to have together, in my opinion. Luka has to have the ball. He's a point guard, whether you like to say it or not. And Kyrie's another point guard. You could argue he plays more like a shooting guard, but Kyrie is a very ball dominant person. The reason why it worked as well as with Braun is because Braun is willing to give up the ball, especially at Cleveland. And I think that's why that meshed, because you didn't really have like I said, at the Nets, you had two other dominant players, and that didn't work. James Harden has to have the ball in his hands, and so does KD. And I think it's just going to end up in another net situation. Right. I think people are just looking at names, big names.
Yeah. That was going to be, I very much agree with you on that half of the standpoint where it's like Kyrie and Luka are both very dominant players. And even if they can come to an agreement and share the ball, who gonna play defense?
I mean, I don't know, because I have no idea. I mean, Christian was a good defender. JaVale McGee's a good interior presence. Reggie Bullock's a good defender. He's a good, like, little two-way player they got. Dwight Powell is also a good defender, good shooter.
Yeah, I feel like they only have like one good, like decent perimeter defender left in Reggie, because if I'm not mistaken, they gave up Dorian Finney-Smith in that trade, and Spencer Dinwiddie is the one I'm certain they gave up, and that like you're losing perimeter defense to bring in like overpowered offense, which like okay, cool. But like what if there's a team ready to stop that? Not saying that that's an easy pair to stop, but like Isaiah mentioned and like I fully agree with, I don't think they're going to mesh well. Because they're two players that both like to lead the team, both like to have the ball in their hands a lot. And in an era with two superstars, I feel like it's the same reason why a fan pairing that I hear all the time, I don't think would work out. And that's I hear people saying that the league should make Luka and Jokic end up on the same team. I don't think that would work out either. Because despite Jokic being a 5, he operates very well with the ball in his hands, leading the offense. And because he's a very unselfish 5 with great vision. So for him and Luka to work together, I wouldn't see that work as well. And it's the same reason I don't see Kyrie and Luka gelling. And as far as in that trade, I'm gonna have to give another dub to the Nets because they again put some solid pieces on their team. And Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie, they got rid of somebody who doesn't want to be there anyway, was causing them issues. They're looking good for the future.
I'll give it like a C because I mean, who knows? But I mean, I know two dominant guards isn't really going to take you far unless you got pieces around them. But like, I think that if he actually like decides to play there, I think it'll work out just fine. But I think with me, I think Kyrie is over the past like 3 years, 4 years, and he hasn't really been focused on the court or about the game. It's kind of been like an off the court thing with him. And I think that could pose an issue, especially if he figures out that he doesn't want to be in Dallas, which he might after the season anyway, not want to be there and relocate elsewhere. But I don't know. The Nets, yeah, like you said, they got Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith. They got a first-round pick in 2029 and then two future second-round picks. I mean, the Nets are doing probably the best in this whole trade deadline, as a whole. But
yeah, they're building a good future over there. Well, yeah, I see what the Nets are up to. They saw the framework the Thunder laid out over the last few years, and they thought, why don't we try to catch up a significant amount this year? And they're doing it. They got some young pieces. They have 119 draft picks.
I was about to say Rudy Gobert helped them out a lot actually because they got 7 picks from KD in that trade.
Yeah.
3 picks in the Kyrie trade, so they got 10 picks here over the next 10 years.
Yeah, at least that's another thing I wanted to hit up is our question has been answered. When we asked a while ago, if you get what you got for Rudy, what the hell do you get for KD?
Yeah.
The answer is 2 valuable starters and 88 picks.
Zoo. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry, Isaiah. Go ahead, buddy.
No, my bad. I'm going to say a very hot take. Well, I'm not sure if it's really hot at this point. Just from a historical standpoint, most of the teams who are successful didn't really trade a lot for their players. They always had at least one or two guys who they drafted who developed into really, really good players. And it was a culture thing. Like the Lakers. I know the Lakers got Shaq. They did pick up Shaq, but like Kobe was their main guy. And they won 2 extra chips without Shaq even being there, just because of who they had on that team. You could say they brought in Gasol, but it was always around one person. The Bulls dynasty, like they drafted they drafted Jordan and
when they do that,
they drafted Jordan and Big Nose, Scottie Pippen, and look how that turned out. Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets. Hakeem was drafted. They built a team around who they drafted. The Warriors. That whole team, with the exception of when KD was there, were drafted there. You can even bring up LeBron. LeBron won a chip at Cleveland. He was technically drafted there, and so was Kyrie. I'd like to think that teams just, instead of getting to the fast track to win one quick chip, which most likely they're not because they're making bad trades for people that don't mesh well, they need to draft their team. So I think the Nets are on the right track. Same with OKC. They just need, let's put a pause on it. Celtics, not completely let that forget my mind. Look how Jason Tatum and all them are doing. All of them were drafted there, and they may not have won something yet, but they're doing excellent.
We're doing it this year. This year.
They're in the conversation, though.
They are in the conversation.
That's what I'm saying. The teams are better for it when you draft a team.
Yeah, you're right, though.
As far as the trade goes, I want to hold my grade to a B, and that's barring if Kyrie resigns, which he's not really known to do lately. So if Kyrie doesn't resign and he goes to LA, then what are they gonna? I mean, that's not gonna be a good grade at the end of it, especially if they don't win the championship. If it's just a mid-season rental, I'm gonna give it a D. But right now, we'll just say B+ because Kyrie's a great player and seems to be fitting in pretty well. But he always does good in his first 2 weeks. I'm not gonna highlight too much of the smaller trades. Mike Muscala got sent to the Celtics. Go C's. They added some forward and shooting depth by grabbing Muscala from the Thunder, who wasn't really going to be using him. Lakers traded Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets. That was a good deal for the Nuggets because now Thomas can play a little bit of a bigger role, back up for Jokic, and they probably could be on the court together, barring Jokic's switch ability. Thunder also traded Darius Bazley to the Suns, and they got Dario Saric and a second-round pick back. Thunder have so many picks. I'm surprised they needed more. Now,
yeah.
Let's get to a funnier trade that happened. Let me just create this scenario. Imagine getting ready to warm up. You got your right fit on. You took a hot shower. Got your cologne on. You ready to go. Got your headband on. You hit the court. Your teammates are all there with you. And someone's like, "Oh, shit, Josh. Come look, bro." You go over to the phone. And you see that Josh Hart got traded to the Knicks for Cam Reddish and a 3-team deal that also sent Matisse Thybulle to the Blazers for some first-round picks as well as first-round. Oh, they got a first-round protected first round. So Josh realized he got traded from Portland to New York as he was taking some jump shots. How do we feel about that trade?
I'm going to start this one off. And I seen that video, and, me personally, I feel bad for him because what he was giving the Trailblazers was, far beyond what anybody on that team has done besides Dame in the past few years. The energy, the rebounding as a smaller player. Like I said, off the bench, he was doing great. I liked him there. He was playing phenomenally. But the fact that he found out, in pregame warm-up bro, that would have made me pissed off. Like, that's just, I don't really see that as like a cool way to find out, or that anybody should ever find out like that.
Like, at the end of the day, it's a business, but it's the same thing the damn Mavericks did to Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
Like they gotta stop doing this to people, man. It's so humiliating.
To be fair, I think Harrison Barnes was on the winning end of that deal.
I mean, he went to the Kings, but I mean, you really
say up until this year, have the Kings been anything since like '98?
But like, my point is, like, to your point, George, like, they could have brought him into the front office and been like, hey, we're gonna, like, don't even show up. Like, that's my thoughts.
I'm able to say that's like getting fired once you get to your job, man. Like, imagine you like about to clock in for your shift at Jimmy John's. You got your badge at the time clock right now, and they like, actually, you got 2.5 minutes to get to Subway.
Yeah.
like, come on, man. It's so just messed up to do that, man, like that. Especially like as you said, Ethan, like what he was giving to that team. Like, man, I feel so bad for him. Man. Free my man Josh Hart's feelings.
Like, it's crazy because as a 6'4" like guard, I mean, he was out there getting like 10, 11, 12 rebounds.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't really see that, especially with somebody off like the bench. You know, I mean, if we're really looking at it, other than like getting picks from this trade, I mean, the Knicks, I feel, won a little bit. I feel like they did a little bit of good for once here recently. I give the Knicks a B for that. That's without them getting any picks. I think Cam Reddish, I mean, getting him out of there, I mean, he wasn't going to do nothing because they weren't going to let him be who he is. Yeah. I mean, all around.
I'm about to take a little page out of another creator's book. Shout out Keith Lee. I'm going to give this trade for the Knicks 7.9 out of 10. Could have used some more salt.
Shout out Keith Lee, man. Shout out Keith Lee.
That man is carrying TikTok at the moment.
Oh, absolutely, bro. I
look him
love
up.
Keith Lee so much. If you haven't done it, go find you some Keith Lee content, man.
From the Paw Patrol like table setup to like the food he's reviewing to the good he's doing for people who.
I would say, like, I want to do the side note thing. Keith Lee recently like helped donate $5,000 worth of shoes to kids, man. It warmed my heart, man.
You know, I also seen like I've kind of looked into his backstory, you know, and people finally now like catching real word of who he is and like just the stuff he's been doing, phenomenal. Like there was a food place that got broke into overnight, and he was like there the next day, and they were nice to him, and you know he gave him a fantastic review. I mean, good stuff he's doing. Shout out to him.
All right. I'm gonna give this trade an F because that's dirty as fuck. But hey, let's get to an even funnier one. Let's move on to an even funnier one.
Talk about if we're talking about funny stuff.
All right, let's get to it. So I'm gonna read a tweet, and y'all let me know what the tweet's about. All right. All right. This tweet says the gang is back. It was a retweet from Sports Center saying reloading in LA at Pat Bev 21 and deloading. Pat Bev, man. Pat Bev thought the game's back together type shit. And then got traded 21 hours later to the Orlando Magic for a second round pick and Mo Bamba.
Comments on that tweet were hilarious.
Want me to read some?
Please do.
I'm on it. Yeah. I'm gonna go read some right now. So let's get on the first couple. Pat Bev is going to be traded by tomorrow. That was 2 days ago when he first put it out. Reloading blanks, maybe. Didn't age well. And that was a lie. Deloading must have 1 gram because that's been going on forever. Or 1 gigabyte. It's been going on forever. It's like when you're trying to download an app that you have to use to have your phone. But your phone... What is he... This is... Okay, it's terrible to read. D'Angelo Russell's been loading for about 7 years. What are we waiting for? Pat Bev switching back to beefing with Russ. And it's a GIF. Man, this didn't age well. All right, so
that comment thread was crazy. I'm gonna go ahead
crazy.
and give my grade. I'm gonna give the Lakers an A for making this happen. Just regardless of what Mo Bamba does for them or Pat Bev does for the Magic, that was funny as hell, and I appreciate that. Good comedy is always gonna get an A+ from me. So if we can go on the Keith Lee thing, I think this has a perfect amount of salt. I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10.
Oh, when we're done with this, I got something even funnier. That's gonna be the last one for the funny portion, but oh my god. Y'all keep going, man.
I mean, Pat Bev, Mr. 94 feet, as in his Twitter bio, man. That man always clowning, always a good player to just get a good laugh out of. But I mean, that's just outside of the stuff he does on the court, because he be bringing cameras to refs, he be getting teed up. That's all fun and games, but the fact that he was like, "Oh yeah, the fam's getting back together," then nah, sorry, bro, you go.
Peace.
Couldn't get better than that. To the Magic of all places, kind of funny to me.
This is also another thing. I've said before that Pat Bev just looks like Florida man, and he is now in Orlando. So he is officially Florida man Pat Bev.
Yeah. He's also expecting a buyout too. That's what I've heard. What I've looked at.
No, keep him.
Do you know how they made a song about Mo Bamba when he went to the Magic?
I feel like he's
overrated. I'm just saying we need a song about Pat Bev.
Who would you have write that?
I'm gonna say, what artist do you think?
I feel like a young Nudie would do pretty good with a Pat Bev song.
Oh yeah, just pure aggression.
Yeah. But Isaiah, who'd you think?
To write it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who
would
make the best Pat Bev song?
Realistically, I like something creative. Honestly, I think Lil Dicky would do well. I feel like it's an easy answer.
I think we missed up with the obvious one. NBA Young Boy.
Hey, that too.
We all know.
I feel like him and Young Nudie are pretty on the same level with that in terms of aggressive talking. So either way,
I think Nudie has an intelligence with his aggressiveness. Young Boy's music makes me want to shove my head in the dryer.
Put them both on the same song. I mean, that'd be
heat.
Yeah.
Pat Bev would explode out of excitement because I can't use the other word for that right now.
You know, ESPN needs to do a 30 for 30 on Pat Bev, man. I'm sure I'd just be entertained.
I swear, but Pat Bev, has anyone noticed how big his eyes are as well? He looks like he survived the strangling. Like this man's eyes are huge.
That's terrible. Yeah, that's terrible.
Hold on, I don't think I've ever noticed.
I'm sorry.
I gotta look this.
It looked like Pat Bev's eyes look like when you shove silly putty through a tennis racket. Like his eyes are bulbous.
Especially
in cartoons when a bad cartoon character walk by, and one of the dudes just be like, with his eyes.
When you say that, I think of Tom and Jerry. You know.
Yeah, but that one cat would walk by and Tom's
eyes. And what he was trying to be honest, the whole show.
Dude looks like he was created on 2K My Player.
Because he was, but Pat Bev is the shut my screen door 2-way. Pat. See, what bothers me is that there are players that look like Pat Bev, yet Dirk Nowitzki is the only player I've seen pull up to a game with aluminum foil meals. Because Pat Bev looked like he probably got a crock pot in his locker. And it's just, man, Pat Bev is so goofy. There's goofy players and there's just goofy personalities. And, man, I can't get over this. Like, Pat Bev is a walking black Air Force with big ass eyes. And Like the man tried to look through the peephole of a beehive or something.
The nigga travels 94 feet to his airplane terminal because he always getting fucking traded. Moving on. All right, so we're going to do this again. Second verse, same as the first. We're going to do a quote, and y'all can tell me what nigga was traded from this quote. And the quote reads, "How was your experience in Houston?" Trash. It was trash.
We was starting a nigga named Justin Patton.
Let's start the nigga's named Justin Patton.
It's the Crip crossover himself.
That nigga John Wall was traded in a 3-team deal involving the Hornets and the Grizzlies. LA acquired veteran guard Eric Gordon on Thursday. As a result, John Wall's heading back to Houston along with Danny Green, while Luke Kennard, aka Luke the Scoop, is headed to Memphis, dropping albums very soon. It's a TikTok phenomenon. If you haven't seen it, please go look at it. It is hilarious. Reggie Jackson's also gone in that trade. He was sent to the Hornets, who are probably going to buy him out. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier. I love Reggie. His goggles are big as shit. And according to Ethan, he looks like Diamond DeShields. So there's that.
He does. George, you need to look up a picture of Diamond DeShields if you haven't seen her already.
I have. That's why I'm laughing.
Okay. But
to me, Reggie Jackson looked like Bobby Shmurda.
Bobby Shmurda with some expensive ass NBA shades.
I swear. Like, I feel like if Reggie Jackson start recording the video and throw them shades up, they'll disappear like Bobby Shmurda's hat in the Hot Nigga music video. But man, the only thing I liked about that trade was that the goofy goat got traded to the Clippers, man. LaMelo wasn't giving him the 40 points a game he deserved, and I hope that the Clippers can make him shine the way he is, bro. The way he's supposed to.
The nigga's essentially a buff-ass Jokic. He's just a buff-ass white man version of Jokic.
Yeah.
No cap. That nigga can play make. I'm not gonna lie.
Him and Al P are the goofy goats, bro. I love watching them play.
What's with you and goofy niggas? I just want to know.
I don't know, man.
Comedy is
comedy. It's just great to watch. And these goofy bastards have been balling on people. What do you mean? Have you not watched Al P be the only reason the Rockets have any wins? And who was doing anything for the Hornets when LaMelo was rolling his ankle over fan shoelaces and stepping on pencils in the locker room, but somehow hurting his chest because he's a ball brother and everything hurts him.
You know, I'm surprised he hadn't gotten a car accident yet, but that's besides the point.
The way he pulled out of that car.
What the fuck?
You're going to hell.
No.
He has to be careful. He has to be careful. I did see that car.
I'm not saying
driving.
that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In any negative way, I'm just saying the way I'd be seeing that any video I see, man, that man, I don't know how he got his license.
This man whipped like his steering wheel is levitating, like he playing a Wii NASCAR. This man got a Wii steering wheel.
But back to the trade, Eric Gordon, the long lost forgotten player in Houston. Good to see him get somewhere refreshing, I guess. John Wall,
I feel like that's the only player that you could trade for Ben Simmons.
I mean, yeah, but like back in the day, he was pretty good to go along James Harden. But John Wall going back, hilarious because he hated it. But now it's low key dirty to send him right back. But like,
I know if I'm the Rockets, I'm signing Justin Patton tomorrow.
And then Luke Kennard, it's gonna be interesting to see him in there in Memphis. I will say, but it gives a better shooting to the team, I guess. Because Dylan Brooks ain't giving none of that. I kind of wish he would have got moved, but he didn't. So
he can't dress for shit. I saw this nigga in a black tank top tucked in with some boot cut jeans, talking about Shannon Sharp is just a pedestrian. If you don't get your silk press braid ass the fuck up on out of here talking about Uncle Shay Shay, I will whoop your ass, nigga. What the fuck? This nigga be bricking layups talking about Shannon Sharp. What's up?
Ed, is that an actual challenge?
What, me versus him?
Yeah.
Man, nigga, set that shit up. We're gonna be on
KSI, make it happen. Put it on your card, man.
Let me get like 15 weeks and a sub to like play for me. We're gonna be straight. Listen.
I mean, for somebody
who looks like
I get a body double.
I'm gonna wear a black. I'm gonna slim down and wear a black morph suit and box on your behalf.
Yeah.
Somebody who looks like a overgrown snapping turtle. I mean,
yeah.
I just can't. I can't, man.
He's a regular pedestrian. The Memphis Grizzlies are regular pedestrians, nigga. Y'all fine in the West, right?
Facts.
If
we're gonna talk about goofy people though, goofy looking people, yeah, Ja is an ugly dude. He look like a spoon with dreads.
That nigga's not even in the West geographically talking about we're in the West. Nigga, you're in Tennessee. You're in the Southeast.
It's because you're a fake gangster.
You're West Tennessee, nigga. You're West Tennessee. That's
Eric Gordon. I want to talk about Eric Gordon because I didn't get to say this a second ago. This man looked like the handle of a ball peen hammer. Like, I ain't never seen a human being that looked like that dude Wart from Timmy from Fairly Odd Parents. That man just looked like a pimple.
That nigga is a gopher for real.
But yeah, no, Ja gotta learn to shut his damn mouth, man. Like he said, we good in the West, and they were like, huh? Oh, okay. Let's bring Kevin Durant and Kyrie over here and see what your ass got to say about that.
You know,
I wish Shannon Sharp would have beat his Usher with AIDS looking ass dad up.
You know, this is besides the point, but like with all these moves, where do you think, or like what do you think makes of the East? Like what happens in the East? How does that like affect the playoff picture?
These teams are gonna damage themselves, and the Kings are gonna skyrocket to number one.
Nigga, if I knew the answer to that, I'd know where the hell Kemba going. I don't know.
Because I mean, now
Kemba don't even know because he's still a free agent, man.
I mean, with Kevin being in the East going to the West, I mean that leaves very few star players in the East, like proven stars. I mean, who knows who we'll find come out the woodworks, but I mean, you got Giannis, and you got like DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine.
Jason Tatum.
You got the Celtics.
Brown.
I was getting there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Shout out Celtics, man.
Damn near at this point, Marcus Smart gonna make an All-Star game with all these shit in the East.
Deserves it.
He gonna make an All-Star game. Then he got DPOY and don't have an All-Star appearance. That's bullshit. Put the whole team like the Hawks. Huh?
George. No, not Ed. You Ed. I messed up, George.
What's up?
You got a license? Riding the Celtics dick? Because I think it's illegal to ride dick without a license.
You thought you was doing something funny, you aching lip motherfucker.
Who's your team?
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't have a specific NBA team.
Because wasn't
they
it
better
the
support
Warriors?
Utah.
I mean, I pull for the Warriors. That's if I had to say I had a favorite, it'd be the Warriors.
Yeah, and your star player looked like he bathed in honey mustard.
He still beat you. Hey, the Warriors still beat y'all last year. All I'm saying.
Off some bullshit.
Chip.
I don't
chip's
care.
A chip.
Hey man, listen.
And
they was getting
your star
their ass
player got
whooped.
the complexion of some sour cream and cheddar chips.
You don't have Klay Thompson. That's all I'm saying.
They let me tell you what though. They was getting their ass whooped by Bron until JR fucked up. That's all I'm gonna say. They was getting their ass whooped by Bron. Bron always be whooping their ass, bruh.
Hey.
Last time Bron whooped their ass, he got injured, and then he beat him in the play-in. Bron, nigga, that's y'all kryptonite. Bron, nigga.
Bron and Al Horford.
Say it one more time.
Where's Bron been? What, 5 years?
Y'all ass.
I haven't heard of Bron in a while.
The Braun be whooping the Warriors' ass.
You know
by
what y'all
himself.
not gonna see for another while? A chip, nigga. With your chipmunk tooth having star player.
Nigga, we're going back to back. That's all I'm saying.
No, Steph,
Ain't
your
no
player
fucking
got
way.
Steph Curry looked like a guitar pick with a human body. He not winning another chip no more. Shout out
You ever
to
notice
him.
this nigga?
You know,
You ever notice how that nigga talk? So like, we won the game, but we ain't won the chip. So
he talked like
we
an
gotta
Arab
get
that grew up
Clay.
around black people.
Yeah, this nigga talks so fucking slow. Like there's spaces in between his speech, like the shit in his teeth. I got a gap too, so I can talk shit.
Yeah.
The nigga blows
English
a
is
whistle.
his second
got a fucking
language
gap.
behind echolocation.
Exactly. Honey
All
mustard.
I'm saying
bro,
is,
shit.
people's got to start putting respect on Clay's name. He got hoed for not being the top 75. I know that
Yeah,
was
he
like
got hold.
over a
Dwight
year
got
ago,
hold.
but like, I'm still mad about that.
We got to talk about that. I'm not gonna lie. There's gonna be another episode where we got to talk about the 75. That's
y'all
crazy.
Y'all gotta invite me since I got a lot to say about that.
We'd love to have you back, man.
I got some opinions on that. We'd love to have you back so I can keep dissing Steph Curry quarter slot mouth. I can fit $1.85 in his mouth. right between the two teeth. And
Anybody got any closing thoughts?
You may be. I'm saying you may be, but like Jason Tatum does a lot of choking. So until he gets that done, until he learns how to swallow correctly, I would keep Steph Curry's name out your mouth.
You nasty motherfucker.
Nah, that is your closing thought. Is crazy.
Yeah, nah. I can't believe.
Sorry. My closing thought is.
No, I'm gonna make you bask in saying that. You said that, and now you gotta live with it.
You've listened to Bro Sports Talk. Thank you. Bye.
Guys, as we head out, we'd like to thank you all for listening to our podcast. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave a 5-star rating on Spotify. It really helps us out. While you wait on the next episode, feel free to check out our other episodes on the channel. See y'all next time.